हर तरफ फिक्र को दौड़ा के थकाया हमने कोई दीन मुहम्मद सा न पाया हमने.
For many families, the sudden closure of schools and institutes of learning due to COVID-19 has had a great impact on household routines. Amidst the ongoing threat of health and safety, everyone had to make rapid adjustments to adapt to an uncertain reality with the new way of learning. On today's Balance program, we'll be hearing from Isha Mahmood, a student graduating from elementary school, Giran Shah, a postgraduate student in university, Hibba Qureshi, a mother with 4 children in various stages of schooling, and Munawwara Ahmed, a high school teacher, to discover how they coped under lockdown and what they will be doing to keep themselves motivated and learning over the extended break. This time of year usually brings a host of formal graduations or farewell programs for those taking their leave from institutes of learning. The pandemic has changed this process, as highlighted at the beginning, leaving many without a sense of closure and no way to acknowledge their emotions. We asked our guests to share their thoughts on the challenges they faced with schooling being online.
There has been a general fear that some students may not reach their academic potential due to various factors, such as access to technology and resources, varying degrees of technological fluency, and the ability of each student to adjust to independent learning while confined to the home.
One main challenge I had this year was being able to, when I had a question, the teacher would have to type the answer out, but it would make more a sense if they verbally explained it, and obviously we didn't have that in online school. Another challenge I faced was if I didn't understand a unit or a topic or a concept properly, I would have to find the explanation or ask my sisters myself.
This experience has definitely taught students the difference between a campus environment versus being at home and what a difference it makes on your studying and your studying habits. But it's also definitely taught us that it's important to always adapt and be flexible, and above all, always be really patient.
For my sons, the online transition was fairly easy as they're used to navigating the online portals. But for my daughters, it was a little bit more tricky. While the grade 5 student carried on with her work, the grade 1 was not so interested. She missed her teachers and friends and missed the school setting. So it was a challenge getting her used to the new routine at home.
Students face many concerns, including the fear of what education will look like from now on, keeping in contact with their social circles, as well as coping with independent learning as they enter this new phase of their lives. We asked Isha and Kiran how they dealt with their challenges.
Ways I have been dealing with these challenges at home is, first of all, asking my sisters and my parents for help when I don't understand the topic. I've also been going on walks, which is good for my mental and physical health. I've also been praying a lot and asking for Allah's guidance.
In order to work effectively, it's important to establish a dedicated study space in your home. And it's a lot better to create small, tangible goals to help get tasks done, and reach out to university resources for help, whether they're academic or mental health. They're now all online and they're free and available for students.
Parents and teachers make up the other 2 elements of the learning triangle. They also had to navigate the uncharted territory of full-time virtual instruction. We asked Hibba and Munawwara to share their thoughts on how lockdown learning was actually an opportunity in disguise.
For any kind of sustainable success, my only advice would be 2 things. The first is the power of prayer. And if that is something that has not been your regular thing from before this whole lockdown, then the best thing about this is that it's never too late to start. For the second thing, it would be to be prepared. And that is if the day before we can set the routine and the tasks for our children for the next day, these small goals that they achieve become great achievements in the larger picture. So they feel that they are successful, and that positive mindset is something that will carry over.
Parents can provide learning opportunities for their children by involving them in a variety of tasks and making them part of decision-making processes. For example, parents can involve their children in age-appropriate chores and tasks around the home. Older children can help with meal preparation, organization, painting maybe, or lawn care. Younger children could help with maybe measuring ingredients for baking or mixing. Parents can also play a key role in teaching their children financial literacy. Senior students can learn as parents create budgets for the household, pay bills, do banking, or file taxes. Students can also keep their minds active by reading books and reviewing course material in order to consolidate previous learning. To those who feel disappointed at missing out on a traditional graduation ceremony and gaining a sense of closure, I have to say your hard work and effort in graduating is of as much value and importance now than ever. The personal growth in knowledge, experience, and skills is something you own and is not diminished by the current crisis. Be proud of your achievements. The world has experienced other crises in the past, like wars, pandemics, and economic downturns. By the grace of Allah, Huzoor's prayers, and our sincere supplications, humanity will persevere. Never forget Allah's promise that ease always follows hardship.
Despite the limitations of COVID-19, with physical distancing still in place, restricted travel, and canceled community get-togethers, Gideon and Hibba suggested some tips to reduce stress and make the most of this time.
There's also a lot more time for family time and connecting with others as everyone's routine has slowed down a lot. This is both in person and also connecting virtually.
With my children, we've been going on bike rides through town, through beautiful areas where there are lakes and ponds.
Recognizing the importance of planning and creating a positive learning environment, we asked Isha and Munawara how they intended to prepare for next year's learning.
Some things I have been doing to prepare myself for the transition into high school is making sure to look at online resources that the board has provided us with. And there are also links to courses and topics to discuss before you go into the actual courses. And academically, I'm going to be going over the summer curriculum for grade 9 and making sure I know all the topics. I will also be taking a lot of advice from my older sisters and cousins who have gone through high school.
Except for Allah, no one knows for certain what the future holds. There are 3 possible scenarios under consideration for the next school year. It could be all remote learning, all in-class learning, or a combination of both. That has been left up to the school boards to decide. We have already persevered through what we hope is the worst case scenario. So if we have to continue with distance learning, we have a very good idea of what to expect. In fact, things are likely to improve since we all have learned from the shortcomings of the past few months and will be better prepared to face the challenges for the next school year.
These unique times can be disruptive to a student's academic growth, but families are learning to adapt and will come out stronger and better prepared mentally and practically for the academic year to come. To all the educators and parents working very hard to help our children succeed in these unprecedented times, we see you and we support you. May Allah enable us to come out of this difficult time with determination and strength. May our children flourish spiritually and academically. Ameen.
हर तरफ फिक्र को दौड़ा के थकाया हमने कोई दीने मुहम्मद सा न पाया